Okay. I think I have set everything up correctly. I am in a totally new streaming setup at the moment. I'm using Streamlabs OBS this time around. And it's super fancy. I've been inspired by a whole bunch of streamers that I've been watching recently, and kind of stealing some ideas. If we get any new followers or subs or bits or whatever the Twitch things are, they should show up in a notification somewhere. Kind of excited to see if that works. So anyway, welcome if anybody's watching. How do I find out? Oh, there we go. I can see how many people are watching there. Interesting. Refresh chat. Is that a thing? This is kind of fancy. And I think I should have tweeted it about this because I connected Twitter Real 8. I connected my Twitter. Let's see what happens. Dun, 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 dun. No. Didn't seem to work. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Streaming. Some open. Capital O. Come and join me if you want to partake. No, I'm not going to say that. If you want to hang out. And then what do? I hate TTPS. Twitch.com/real. Oh, it's twitch.tv, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Ah, look at that, man. It's the wrong information, but anyway, that's fine. See, it's still not... Oh, my God. It's eventual consistency. That's the problem. And then I'm going to share... No, I've got this. I'm going to share that in some Discords that I'm part of. News and announcements. It's probably a bit much. And then I'm going to drop one of these in here. Self-promo. I don't know if that's a bit cheeky, but let's go. Okay, so let's see if I get any people viewing. Right, now that is over, you can see I've got a to-do list up above me here somewhere. Oh, actually, I don't also have my timer. I'm going to do window capture. This is all very new to me. Window capture. I want to do timer. Boop, boop, boop. Window. Full day. That's a bit big. Let's put you up here. Right. I think that works okay. Let me know if you can't actually see that in the chat. Okay, so we do have a task that we want to do. I'm going to do a little bit of time. I'm going to spend a little bit of time kind of doing a bit of an update on the Ember CLI fast boot update thing that I was working on last week. the point of that is this thing that we have here. So I'm working with Ember CLI Fastboot, and we were having some problems with CI, which means that our tests weren't necessarily working when we were trying to when we were trying to test it in node 16. So some stuff was breaking. It was kind of hard to track down. Last week ended on a cliffhanger. I kind of found the solution, and I ran a command to see if it would work, and it turns out that that command took too long and I had to go, so we didn't see the answer. And the solution was ultimately that it worked. And the problem is that worker pool is this kind of like sub dependency of something that Ember CLI Fastboot actually needs. So let's just make this a bit bigger for y'all. If I go to yarn lock. If I load this diff, my computer will probably explode. Oh, I know what to do. Instead of looking at all of them, let's just look at the one. Update. Used fix. Ember CLI Babel 6. Babel. Aha, it's a much smaller yarn lock change. So, this is, as I was saying last week, this is kind of what a lot of open source development is. It's like dependency management and like janitorial stuff. But it's kind of interesting at the same time in a weird sort of a way. But the ultimate problem here that we had was that Broccoli Babel transpiler depended on this thing called worker pool, and that worker pool was very out of date and just would never work in node 16. So instead of trying to update all of the things that needed this out of date Ember CLI Babel, I'm hopefully going to propose that we update a v6 patch of Ember CLI Babel, which is a bit weird because like we're now on like 7.12 or whatever. But this is the sort of long tail dependency thing that, you know, some people, well, I quite value it. A lot of people in the Ember development world value it. It's like, you know, things shouldn't break. Older things shouldn't break, and we shouldn't leave anybody behind. So yes, it would be great to update all of the sub dependencies so that they don't need this version of Ember CLI Babel, but it's better to make sure it doesn't break. So let's go and do this. Ember CLI Babel, open source, and we'll start a timer, and I'm going to just do like Pomodoro, 25 minutes on trying to make my case to the people involved, that I like it's better to update things. So what I actually did in this change is I have a fork of Broccoli Babel transpiler, and we'll have a look. Close this one. Close this one. Ember CLI Babel. No, it's not the. There we go. I have two forks. I have a fork of Ember CLI Babel, which depends on a fork of Broccoli Babel transpiler. I have already got a message from Robert Jackson, who is like king of open source. His contributions are immeasurable. He was like, "Oh, there's a problem here. What are you doing?" But the problem is that I didn't do very much of a description here in this. So he came along this, looked at code. I was actually targeting master, which doesn't make sense at all. Like, this whole thing totally doesn't make sense. And even if you looked at this change, let's have a look at the commits. So these are ones just to make the tests work. Update everything. So this is the main change. I'm changing the dependency in package.json to a Git repo. That's never going to make it into a release. That's not something that anybody wants to include in a release at all, ever. So what we need to do is we first need to get this updated. So how do we do that? Well, we go and we have a look at the Broccoli Babel transpiler. And we look at the merge request. Here. This is the same sort of stuff. And this is like a work in progress description. And it's like, oh, I'm trying to track down blah, blah, blah. And it's a draft pull request. But again, this isn't really reviewable. So somebody like Robert Jackson might come along and, I can't ask for a reviewer here. That's interesting. Oh, maybe because it's draft. So somebody might come along and go, oh, well, they're still working on it. It's not done. So they won't review it. They won't get it merged. They won't update things. So this is why it's important to have a good description to explain exactly what you're doing. And the main thing that I want to communicate in this, in these merge requests, in these pull requests, is that it's working upstream. Oh, hey, we had our first notification. Code Food Pixels, thanks for the subscribe. That is much appreciated. Very cool. Welcome to the stream. So my main justification for this. Oh, it's Luke. Hey, Luke. Well, long time no see, but then we chatted this week. So good to see you. Thanks for joining me here. And I love that you were the first person to have my notifications, the sub notification. That is, it's a special honor. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so this is my justification. This thing here. Does this, if I zoom, I don't know if that actually zooms for you, but this is the full explanation. The fact that I added these dependencies down the chain, upstream, downstream, whichever you want to call it, and it passed the tests, means that I think that these two changes make sense. But we still need to communicate that to people. And communication is a huge thing in pretty much all development, but also open source. Very, very important, because people tend to be very overworked. I could show you my GitHub notifications, and I don't know if you'd be shocked, but it's pretty overwhelming. And somebody like Robert Jackson, who's probably going to review this thing, his are 10 times worse than mine. So, okay, so let's have a look. Okay, let's change this. So I'm currently trying to track down. That's not true anymore. I have tracked down. Over the last week or so, I have been tracking down an issue that prevented some Ember apps from working in Node 16. After a conversation with Tobias on Discord, that's this conversation, isn't it? Let's have a look, see. I'm going to open this, and I don't know if that's going to work. No. Let me see. I have a window somewhere. I need to... I need a way to turn off my screen temporarily, because I know they've got my emails open. And although I saw somebody somebody figuring out how to like blur web page. Main recording. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I need to get better at that. I'm still learning, folks. This streaming malark is a little bit complex. Okay. Is that going to open the Discord channel that I care about? Yes, it did. And it was the conversation I had with Toby. Okay, so I'm going to cut that one on this after a conversation with Toby on Discord. We concluded thought that we should update worker pool as a update the worker pool subdependency of Ember.js Babel 6. Blum. Okay. I'll reread that in a second, see if it makes sense. Oh, hello. Hi. Oh, how do I say this? Shinobu22? Haha. Yes, that is an Ember chair pillow. I made it myself. It is a Frankenstein creation of these like tote bags from a few years ago. So I cut two of them up, sewed them together, and created a pillow out of it. It's my first sewing project, and I was very bad at it. The whole thing got so jammed a million times. Sewing machines are really complex. But yeah, I am very proud of it. I wanted it there for the stream, so I'm glad you noticed. Okay, so where were we? After a conversation with Toby on Discord, we thought we should update the worker pool subdependency of Ember CLI Babel 6. Ooh, what's that? Oh, a new follower. I love these notifications. They're brilliant. Thank you for the follow. We thought that we should update the worker pool subdependency of Ember Babel 6 because that was causing the underlying issue. I have successfully tested the change in this PR by updating the broccoli Babel transpiler dependency to target this branch in a PR / branch in Ember CLI Babel. I'm going to do that as a link to the other pull request. Boop. And then subsequently doing some manual-ish yarn lock manipulation to force a PR, boom, boom, boom. The fact that the tests are passing, maybe make that a bit bigger for y'all because there's a lot of text. Boom, boom, boom. The fact that the tests are passing should be a good indication that it okay. Don't need any of this anymore. This change, this PR does the following. Updates the worker pool dependency to latest v6.1.0 had the fix we needed. Updates uses. Come on, of worker. Calls. What's the word I'm looking for here? Boopy, 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 boopy. Instances, executions. I'm just going to copy this in case it goes away if I have a look at files changed. Worker pool.pool. Aha, didn't. Calls to worker pool.pool to include worker type because the default changed and I set it to would have been. And then I have, what else did I do? Fixed some assertions in tests because the messages didn't quite match. They seem to have expected just a message, but we're getting I'm getting a text message from my wife. 1 second. Okay. They seem to be expecting just a message, but getting a full. What is the trace? What is the word called? Oh, I can't remember. I have to go. Thanks for joining us, Shinobu. I think I have an idea who that is. I seem to have expected just a message. Oh, no, I didn't mean to push that button. Go away. We're getting a full. I'm thinking trace route, but that's not the right word. Stack trace. Shrug. And then I cherry picked updates to the CI because this PR is targeting the v6. Is it a release branch? Okay, so this is a lot of words, but you know, sometimes you need to write a lot of words. Sometimes getting a bit of code merged, getting like changes fixed upstream, it's not about writing the perfect line of code, making the tests pass, making, you know, having a good Git history, although that's important. Sometimes it's about justifying the change that you want to make and communicating that effectively. And that's not easy. You know, this is a skill that you have to work on. I'm in no way the best person at this. My communication skills, I don't know. I can write a lot of stuff, and sometimes I write too many words. Put it that way. Cool. So what do we got here? Cherry picked. Okay, so this. If we agree with my approach, then we would need to cut a new v6 v6 patch or minor release after this is merged. Let me know if you have any questions. Update comment. Blah. Right, that's a lot of text. Okay, and it's ready for review. Bloom. It's interesting. So I can't request any reviews. I thought you could do that. Anyway. Cool. So, with the comment that oh, that's not the right thing. I'm going to close that. What do? I'm going to Discord. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go. This is the Ember community Discord, and you can see I am in too many Discords as well at the moment, and I have too many. Oh, I should probably add that to the list as well of things that I should look at today. Boop, boop, boop. I have too many messages that I need to get back to. I have lots of people looking for my attention, but I am bad at getting back to them. So, hey, Robert Jackson. I've finally gotten around to up a better description to the PR I created on broccoli Babel transpiler to update worker pool to ultimately get the fast boot CI working in node 60. If we can let me know if you have any questions. And if you're okay with the change, I will update the, what is it? It is Ember CLI Babel. PR that I GitHub dependency I used for the test. Cool. It is currently, let me see. Oh, what's this? Go away. No, thank you. Not right now. I have a thing on Fantastical. I think Robert's in Eastern time. So it's currently 5:30 for Robert Jackson at the moment. I'm not expecting a response during the stream. I'd be somewhat disappointed if I did get a response during the stream. He should be sleeping. But then again, I know he's got kids, and I know from experience that that sometimes prevents you from having any sleep at all, ever. Huzzah. Okay. So that's it. That's my Ember CLI Fastboot update. This is now in somebody else's hands. I can no longer move this forward at all, which means that we get to... Oh. Haha. We get to move on to the next topic. Oh, was I still on? I was still on introduction. Silly me. Right, now we're on Ember Asset Side Action. Let's say that again. Ember Asset Size Actions PRs. Do I have that here? There we go. Okay. Huzzah. Use the screen. That's a bit strange. A little bit meta. So, what is this? I might hear you ask. There is... So first of all, how do I describe this? I'm going to not describe it because we will have an 5-minute break in 16 seconds. Is that what it says? 14 seconds? And it's perfect timing. If we can be as efficient as we were with the first item for all of the items, then that would be fantastico. Oh, that's pretty cool. It actually shows the error message or the pop-up on the screen. I don't know what the quality is like. If y'all can't see or hear me, do let me know in the stream. What does this mean? Oh, I can repeat the alert. That's pretty cool. Okay, so 5 minutes. I don't, this app that I am using doesn't have a break timer. So we're having a 5-minute break. Oh, I'll use this time to hydrate. Mute my mic while I'm drinking. What's that word again? The when somebody like has a phobia of the sound of eating and whatnot. Mesophobia or something. Okay, so in the 5 minutes, let's do something interesting. Let's have a look at my GitHub notifications. Oh, 945. There's so many. There's so many. Why are there so many? Okay, so first of all, a fun little update. I have a little script that I wrote in console that goes through these notification lists and finds anything with Dependabot and ignores it, or like clicks it and then does unsubscribe or done or whatever it is. This would be like a real script if they exposed that particular, like, this task is done on the API, but they don't. So it's a little bit of a ghetto. What's this? Trim new lines. Oh god. So this is kind of like a little bit of a ghetto JavaScript, maybe Script Monkey, isn't that what they used to be called? Thing where it like goes and finds a line that has Dependabot user in it. Oh hey Dragonblood. Ah, you've got a nice little badge beside your name. I assume that's because you were a follower. Oh, not a follower, a sub. Yeah, buddy. That is pretty cool. Makes you like an instant VIP. I think I can make VIPs as well, but I don't know how to do that quite yet. I'm on a 5-minute break at the moment, Dragonblood. And I'm just kind of using that to kind of look at my overwhelming amount of GitHub notifications. It's a little script that I have. It's like, yeah, so it's checking things that have this little Dependabot or whatever in it and marking them as done. And if it finds one, it refreshes, which can sometimes be, and then if it doesn't find it, it goes on to the next page. So it can be a little bit tedious, but it brings that number of notifications down a lot faster than me doing it manually. And I have too many notifications. Bing, bada boom. Found nothing. Next page. How long's left in this? 1 minute. 1 minute left in the 5-minute break. I do really need to update my timer thing to have a break timer in it. Boop, 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 boop. So many things. This is like a really inefficient method of doing it. Sometimes get stuck in a... Yes, at least I'm not Robert Jackson. I don't want to know what his number is. It's probably in the multiple thousands. What do we think? 5,000? I'm gonna have to ask him. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to open this up to more than just I'm currently streaming and clearing out. Oh, I can't spell. My GitHub notifications. Hey, open source developers. What is your current GitHub notification count? I'm at, what am I at? 834 right now. How do we do this? I don't know how this works because I don't usually use this interface. Pictures, screenshots, this one. Yeah. Boom. Yeah, GitHub likely had to implement a new UI for him because of the number that high. It's funny because I know Robert was using Octobox for a little while when that was out. I also was using Octobox. I was paying 10 quid a month for it as well. But then GitHub came and kind of implemented Octobox. It's exactly the same as it was, which is a little bit like I don't know how to feel about that. It's like completely instantly making it obsolete, or mostly obsolete. I know there's still some useful bits and pieces, but it's a little bit scary. Big company coming in, implementing you out of existence. Right, okay, so we are now doing our next slot. Ember asset size action. Open source is my client and shall forever be my client. Okay, right. Ember asset size action. What is this? I hear you say. I implemented this because I knew that in Simplabs we had like a actually it might even be a dependency. Let's have a look. See package.json asset. Yeah, so we had this thing that we were using for a client, which was like asset size reporter, and it was pretty cool actually. Like has a graph that keeps track of each of the assets that we have. So vendor.js, the app.js, vendor CSS, and the app CSS. And it was like graphed, and you could see it going up and down and how versions made a difference. So I was inspired to create this for Simplabs, the company that I work for. And shout out to Simplabs. I am on 20% time at the moment, which allows me to do open source stuff on a Thursday. So it's great. Fantastic to have this time. And I created this action so that, let me see, Ember, github.com, Ember Learn, Ember website, I think is the one that has it. What do we have? Yeah, Dragon Blood makes a very good point in the chat. This will blow up in embroider and root splitting. Yes, that is true. But it's a good thing, you know. I have an example here. Simon, make mascots. Oh, this is interesting. Let me see. I'll see a closed one, and I know author is me. These ones will have the things that I need. Yes. So I'll answer that question in a minute. Oh, this is interesting. So this is what Ember asset size action does. It adds a comment to any pull request that you have, saying what's changed on each of the files. Now, you're totally right, Dragon Blood, that each of the roots are then going to change. But if we go and we find, where are they? If we find these checks, it's not the only thing that we actually do. We have, like, what's this? This is Lighthouse reports. Oh, that's interesting. Blocking time's gone up. It happens to be... Oh, that's interesting. It looks like we're only actually checking one URL with our Lighthouse report on the Ember website, so just the homepage. But then this becomes the same question. Maybe the question isn't about like what are just the asset size in the deployment. Maybe it's really about a particular URL or whatever it is. You want to keep track of the asset sizes per page. But yeah, that's a problem that we will worry about when that time comes. I don't like to get too bogged down in like super future features because there are so many possible features and they are overwhelming if you try and implement for all of them. But so the thing, the asset size action, just does this simple little comment. It's a little bit irritating because it, if you make a change to that pull request, it just creates another comment and creates another comment and gets a little bit noisy. There's a little bit of work in Simplabs to create a like proper application thing to keep track of your asset sizes. But I'm not all that involved at the moment with that project. The thing that I want to do, this isn't dead yet, it's not totally obsolete until the kind of successor comes along. It's worth doing some normal open source maintenance on this. Let's get some of these merge requests merged. So I was talking to this guy, Radio. He was they were trying to use it with private npm registries, and in fact they created an issue about that. Let me see. Yeah, so we were discussing it on GitLab about how the action should call yarn install with specific information on it, but instead we found a way. This is interesting. We found a way to like make it possible to, this is cool, to just change the configuration. Like if you're running your action, your GitHub action, like you could have a npm token, which is in your secrets, which is the whole thing that GitHub actions do. It's a little bit complicated. Repo token, secrets, GitHub token. Oh, that's necessary. So this one is necessary for you to comment on a merge request or a pull request. And this one is like echoing out a auth token, npm token to npmrc. Cool. So configuring private npm package registry token. More details on how to configure. If running GitHub and every push is not suitable, you can configure to run only when a certain label is attached to a pull request. Example, Ember assets. That needs a change. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open another tab. cd git open source Ember asset. See, I don't know where this is. I have too many. Ember asset size action. I'm going to open that in fork, which opens another tab. I have too many tabs in everything that I do, all over the place. Oh, okay, yes. So I updated before the stream. So I need to SSH ID RSA identity added. Oh, it's on the wrong screen. Boom. Come on. Ooh. Maybe. Oh. Oh my God. This is funny for a number of reasons, but we'll not worry about that right now. Let's update that. So I've updated things, and then I'm going to go Atom and quickly swap to it so that it opens it as a tab. Nice. Now, what is this Atom, I hear you say? Can I make this bigger? I can, so it's outside of the thing. So I don't use Visual Studio Code, which it seems like every person and their aunties use it because of this. This is the most amazing thing in the world ever. The GitHub tab on Atom. Like, I know that there's Git and GitHub stuff on Visual Studio Code, but I don't like it. It doesn't work with my brain. And I like Atom. It's just a little bit simpler. Okay, let me see. Make sure that you all can see this stuff. Right. So, if running GitHub Actions on every push is not suitable, you can configure to run. Let me see. I don't do run only when a certain label is attached to a pull request. Asset size. Oh, that's interesting. Isn't anything special to if so conditional GitHub Actions conditional job workflow syntax. This looks good. If so, we're doing build if. I don't think it is build. Jobs. Oh, it's so that's the ID. Jobs.jobid.if. So that's jobs build if. Yeah, that's perfect. That is right. So let's link to this. Boom, boom, boom. Isn't special? It is a feature of GitHub Actions. And you can read more about it in their official documentation. Boom. Okay, configuring private npm package. If your app depends on private npm, it's not capitalized. depends on private npm packages, you will need to make sure that you have the correct npm token available to your npm token available to your repo the following example not commit the npm rc to your repo and instead creates it at the just before it is needed. I think it should be that, right? It's close enough. Yeah. And I remember having a discussion with I've forgotten his name again. Radio. That these sort of, you have to like escape these or something. It's a bit odd, but he assured me that this works, so I'm happy with that. Cool. So let's read through this again just so it makes sense to people. Running GitHub Actions on demand with labels. If running this GitHub action on every push is not suitable, you can configure it to only run when a certain label is attached to a pull request. For example, when you add the on pull request blah, necessary to watch for when the label is added. Cool. Build contains pull request labels name, Ember asset size, blah blah blah. This technique isn't anything special to Ember's asset size tracking. It's a feature of GitHub Actions. You can read more about it in their official documentation. Configuring private npm package registry token. Your private npm package registry. If your app depends on private npm packages, you'll need to make sure that you have the correct npm token available to your repo so that the npm install or yarn install step will succeed. More details on how to configure npm registry token. Your npm, because they say it's not supposed to be capitalized, registry token, blah 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 blah. The following example allows you to not commit the npm-rc to your repo and instead creates it just before it is needed. Blah, blah, blah. So this is interesting. This is a full example you can copy and paste, whereas this is not a full example. I kind of want to just do the full example, because people copy and paste things, you know. Don't think we need beta anymore, but I'm not going to mess with that because it's not what I'm doing right now. Cool. So what am I going to do here? So we have fork. We have update readme for on-demand runs and npm tokens. Cool. So I don't know how to do this correctly in Atom. So I'm just going to do it in here. I'm going to right click, interactive rebase interactively, and do that as a fix up so that now there is only, go away, there is only one commit and it should be both of us. Now I'm going to force push that to their boom, to their pull request. And now I should probably be happy with it. And see, now we're sharing it because we both wrote it together. Oh, I have a French lesson. I don't know if I'm going to do that today. Let me go and tell them that I'm not available. Whew. Okay. Review required. Merge is blocked. Let us see. I've read through it all once myself. I'm happy. And I'm going to say, cool. I edited this a little bit for more clarity. Thanks for adding it. Ta-da. Approve, submit review. Bing bada boom. Merge. So this is another example where communication is a huge part of open source. I think this is a kind of cool GitHub action. You know, it's nice. It gives you a cool comment, etc., etc. But if you had a private npm package, if your app depended on private npm packages, and you tried out the README, it would fail. It just wouldn't work. So it can be the best GitHub action in the world, but if people can't actually use it, then it's pointless. It's useless. So you have to make sure that when people come cold to your README, they can read it from top to bottom, which I know is sometimes a bit much to expect people to do, but you should have them set up for success. So, you know, a merge request like that one from Radio to like commit to change the README and add more details about stuff, that's almost more important than the code itself. And actually, depending on how bad the documentation is already, it is more important. Full stop. Oh, interesting. There's a partial solar eclipse happening right now. It's only 40%, so I wouldn't actually be able to see it if it went out. I don't want to blind myself, but yeah, interesting. What am I doing? Right, more pull requests. What else do we have on the list? Let's see if there's anything else here. Oh god, dependencies. I hate these dependabot things. Oh, this is interesting. Allow bot for editing existing asset size. Let's see who wrote this. Oh, cool. Oh, that's fun. Okay, our Pomodoro has finished. Oh, I forgot something. Super important. Look at me going all super fancy on my stream, but I forgot one of the most important things. Let's set our 5-minute timer and fix it. Let's rectify it. What was it called? Pretzel. Let's move you over here. Jazz station. Oh, that's cool. Volume down. Add a new source. I want a audio output capture? No. Audio output capture. Let me see. I don't know if this this actually works the way that I hope. Brittle. Settings. Yeah, actually it looks like I need to do this with my loop back. Okay, let me see. I'm going to create a new device, new virtual device, boom. And we're going to call it Pretzel. I'm going to add a source, Pretzel. Nice. I don't actually like that one. Okay. Oh, it is actually. Okay, so there's stuff playing. Can you hear music in the background? Anybody who's in the viewer? Gonna have to go and look at my own stream to see. Create a dashboard. No, because I can see my Yeti going a little bit. And I think that's just because it's picking up a little bit the background noise of my fans. So that means I need to add a source. Oh, this is so complicated. Oh, audio output capture. No, I'm going to remove you. Remove. Yeah. I'm going to go audio input capture. Add source. Add new source instead. Pretzel. Add source. Oh. Pretzel. Done. Okay. So. Ooh. Oh, but now I can't hear it. So I don't know how loud it is. Auto adjust pretzel volume. Huh. This is also complicated. Let's go and listen to it on the stream. Okay. That's kind of a good background music. Maybe a bit louder. Cool. I think I then just need to add a little monitor in my thingamajig. Cool. Funky. Okay, so Dragon Blood, can you hear anything now? And that's there 5 minutes up, so we can start our next Pomodoro. Yes! I have it on the jazz channel because I'm a little bit jazz mad at the moment. I'm sure that just came up. It's cycling between two songs. Is that all that there are? Oh my god. In the meantime, let's go and do lo-fi, because I know that there are more songs in lo-fi. Okay, cool. And Pretzel Rocks is now totally spamming my channel. Boo. But it's fine. Now that we've got a little bit of lo-fi going in the background, let's move on to our next task. Full day. What's this? So somebody is making this. Okay, so looks like a bunch of people. Oh, that's very cool. Body identifier. Oh, created by assets. Ember asset size action. No, I think he's actually right, or they're actually right. Okay, so files changed. Okay, so there's a few interesting things here. There's a few interesting things here. Let's clone the or check out the branch. I like the work. It's great. I would change a few things. So it's super awesome. That's tests, libs, helpers. It's probably in main, isn't it? Okay, so unique comment identifier. So this is great. Created by Ember.js action. But it's just lacking a tiny bit of pizzazz. No offense. I actually want to. Yeah. No offense. Who's this? Who's this that's doing this? Technics? Yeah. And then Backspace was the other people who are doing this. Backspace, yeah. Great branding, wonderful work, but you're missing something. You need to do one of these bad boys. Because it's Markdown. Got a link back. Always got a link back. Pretty cool. That might not work, but we'll test it. Second thing that I'm looking at here, they have made the change to the action YAML. And they have it as optional, with, I'm assuming the default is false. Required false. So I want to try and do it the other way around, because I think this is such a good improvement that it is worth it being the default. So let's see what we can do. GitHub Actions default. What are these? Input. Metadata syntax for GitHub Actions. Inputs. Assuming it can be. Assuming it's like JSON, so it could be, the value could be true, false. Yeah, because it's YAML. So we want required false, default true.
Who brings heart, who brings their vision, and particularly who bring their brain to the table, so that they're aware of what they're doing and they're making conscious choices.
So I have a wonderful. I have a text message I just need to deal with.
Have a lot of patience for people who feel like they're downloading from the cosmos.
I don't like text in the background or audio in the background. I have it saying don't use.
Now let's make it better. But just writing.
Don't use text. It's like instrumental only, but I suppose that's a sample. It's not really. I got a text message, I need to deal with it quickly, and it's broken. Okay, required, false, default, true. So okay, so that's that. This is them actually adding a feature. Interesting. Yeah, fine, fine. Code's fine. Their README now is going to be totally out of date. Oh, I wish I could turn off these notifications, pretzel rocks. I think I have to pay to do that. Maybe I'll find some other lo-fi stuff to play instead. Okay, first problem. This doesn't have our previous change in it. So I'm going to put this stuff in here. I'm going to add a link back to repo in created by make update comments option optional. Okay, so if you look, I was opening the README and we just worked on the README and it doesn't have the stuff that I care about in there. So, oh, that's really irritating actually. Pretzel rocks now. It'd be different if I had 1,000 people chatting and whatever, but c'est la vie. Okay, so what have I got? On my fork, which I want to open for this one. Fork, bang. Oh, we did already open it. Okay, so I need to rebase those changes on master. Other things are edit existing comment here. Stash and reapply local changes. Okay, so okay. Fix typo dough. So this is never not a good thing. Yeah. So I've mentioned it already. Simplabs.com blog. I wrote a blog post recently. Git good, the magic of keeping a clean Git history. This has like a bunch of techniques and videos that kind of walk you through how to edit. Why is it keep going onto the wrong desktop? How to edit things like this. So this is a typo that they know, yeah, with whatever. So they introduced that typo somewhere in here. Existing comment equals find, and we're looking for main. Fix lint issues. Okay. Again, that's probably the same thing. Main. So find, and then yeah. So this is the main work, but then this fixing lint issues and the typo, they don't need to exist in this merge request. So they can just be replayed or like fixed up or squashed into each other. So rebasing interactively, we can boom, boom, reorder those and fix them up. And it looks like this? Oh, so they also updated the test output text. Yeah, and that's like undoing something that they added in the same merge request. So we can just bing, drop, not drop, fix up, because it'll then remove it from this original merge request. So now if we hit rebase, bing bada boom, we have their original work that's immaculate, as if they've never created an error in their life, and it came fully formed out of their brain, which is nice. You know, it may not accurately represent the pain that they did to make this work, but this now accurately represents the changes that are necessary in this branch to get this live. You know, this is what they're trying to do. It's like just their logical changes, which is nice. And now we've got the rest of the README. Fantastico. Update comments. Example usage. By default, Ember asset size action will update the existing comment. The existing comment with updated values. Update comment when the PR has been updated in any way. If you want to disable this here and have the action create a new comment every time, you can pass the value. What are they called, values? The input. Let's call it an input. The input update comments with value false. And then we'll just that YAML. Then we had this update comments false. Then we don't need this, and then that was already there. Yeah. This is interesting. So that is the same change. Okay, cool. So what are we doing? Update readme. Yeah, cool. And then I'm gonna undo my last commit so that I'm gonna undo my last commit so that I'm making it optional and then updating the readme at the same time. So it's in the same commit. Boom. So let's have a look-see. Now if I force push that to their branch, because I'm mean. Bing bada boom. That should... Oh, this is the... Yeah, that's the issue rather than the merge request. Bing bada boom. The best way to identify the comment, ta-da, I added a link back to the link project to help people. Test if this still works before merging this MR, though I don't want to break things just for a link back. Single comment. So now we're in for the fun times. The fun thing is that it's hard to test Ember asset size action. It's hard to test GitHub actions full stop. So what am I going to do? Do I have to do the full cycle? I suppose I do, since it's a reasonably large change and I've broken or changed some of their stuff. Let's do it. Okay, so let's just... I'll do it as a little thing here so that we're not... Oh, sorry, you wouldn't have been able to see my stuff. So I need to go boom and actually make this boom, 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 boom. And then it actually needs one of these as well. Make this smaller. Okay. So I'm going to make that bigger. So I have a little CD TMP. I have a temp folder that has like a bunch of silly stuff in it. npx ember CLI at latest. Ember test. And then I actually want to say new. So what I just ran there is the same as me running Ember new, the name of the thing that I just said. Ember asset size action. Ember action test or whatever. But it just does this thing, Ember CLI at latest, that makes sure that it's the latest Ember CLI version, regardless of what I have installed locally, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, if you ask me. Hopefully we'll be able to get this tested before I have to go, which will be in a few minutes. So this will be my last Pomodoro before my time is up. I might be able to do like another hour later in the day, but we'll see. It's wherever you're tuning in from. At the moment, it is currently 20 to 12. Huzzah. CD, what am I doing? Action test. So I probably need to, because it's GitHub, so I can go github.com Mansona. I probably have one already. Asset action test. So let's, what did I call it? Ember action test. So let's delete this one. This is for the exact same thing. So settings, time to delete this. Delete this repository. Mansona asset action test. I don't actually need to okay, come on. I'm having troubles with my unlock thing. Autofill. My right index finger has gotten a bit too wrinkly and it won't work anymore. Boom. What have we got? Ember action test. Public. Yeah, it doesn't really make too much of a difference if it's public or private. Then I want to do this one. Ooh, main. Now that's the default for Git. Okay, so now that should be set up. Cool. And then I'll go atom, blah, go to here so it doesn't explode. Now, what am I doing? I am, that's the issue. Ooh-wee. There we go. We're now on borrowed time. I need to have a borrowed time timer thing here. So I'll probably have to go whenever the doorbell rings, and you'll probably hear that by Google telling you somebody at the door. But the goal of what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to follow. I'm going to follow the README for this, which is exactly the same by default. Blah 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 blah. So that's interesting. So that means. So actually, let's have a look at view this, but not the diff. I want to view the file. Cool. So that, I'm just going to commit it. New file, blah. And I'm just going to commit that directly to here. And then I do this, add workflow, and I'm pushing that to main. Nice. So now I want to create a new branch, style guide. I want to do the same thing that my other test was doing. Ember install Ember style guide. If I could spell. I've written Ember style guide probably thousands of times. I should not be making typos anymore. That is not a thing. Cool. So I've added my stuff, add Ember style guide. Aha, I got it right first time. So I can do GitHub thing. So I do publish. And then I can open a new pull request. Okay, it's opened in a new In fact, can I not just... It's opened in a window on a screen that you can't see. So let me see if I can just... Bing bada boom. Yeah. Oh. It's doing the thing. In progress. Fantastico. We're going to have another cliffhanger again, aren't we, today? I'm going to have to go right before it adds the comment. So I use the default, so I expect this to update the comment. Beep, 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 beep. Come on. I guess I can open the details here. It'll show me like the progress. It's running the action. I always feel a bit weird about the logs here. I think if you open this at the beginning, it starts streaming the logs. Oh, there we go. So it's only streaming the logs. Post-run actions, check out V2B. Interesting. Interesting. Loads of interesting things happening. It's now doing the actual building. So, if anybody isn't actually aware what this does, which I'd imagine most people listening or watching, because this is a kind of a niche action, what it does is it runs Ember build on like the tip of the pull request. So on the oh, that's my wife telling me that she'll need my help when she gets home. Cool. So now we want to install something else. Ember install Ember paper. I don't know. I don't care.
All right. I'll tell you the truth.
This is actually doing a whole bunch of stuff because Ember paper needs Ember CLI SAS, which could break things. I don't know. So as I was saying, it compiles, it builds your app at the head of the PR, but then goes and checks the merge request, pull request, or checks the branch on Git to see what the base of that branch is. So where's it splitting from? So in this case, it would be like here. And then it checks that out and builds. Interesting. And then builds and then compares the two. So it puts out a JSON and checks each of the asset sizes. So what I'm going to do, because I know that I'm probably going to have to go, I'm going to share the the link because it's public. You can all see. Oh, did I not push? I didn't push. And you'll be able to see if this does the right thing. If it does the right thing, we're going to have an updated comment. Home in 2 minutes. So I'm going to end this stream now. Thanks everybody for joining me. Can I see the users? I can. Ooh, loads of people. It's telling me there's only 4 viewers, but there's like loads of people in chat. Discord for streamers. Who are those people? Cool. I'm going to see if I need to go. I'm not going to try and what's the word? Raid somebody now because I don't know how all that works. Thanks for joining in, Dragonblood. Thanks again for being a sub. Thanks Luke, Code Food Pixels, for the new sub, and thanks for the follow, Shinobu22. And I will see you same time again next week. And take care, everybody.